Hello everyone, it's Natalie and welcome to my channel. Today I want to tell you about books which I have read in autumn. So let's start. Totally I have read 9 books and it's not my usual amount, but I want to promise to myself that next year I will try to read at least 5 books in a month. So the first one is Madame Burrowa by Ruth Hogan. So what's the plot of this book? Madame Burrowa, tarot reader, palmist and clairvoyant, is retiring. After 50 years of other people's secrets and lives, she lives in her booth on the Brighton seafront. But before she does, she has to fulfill a promise she made a long time ago. In London, another woman is making a fresh start. Billy has lost her job, her marriage, and her place in the world. Finding that place again will lead her straight to Madame Burrowa's door to unlock events stretching back to the magical world of a 70s holiday camp, seaside entertainers, eccentrics, heroes and villains, and love story which will last through time. So it's rather interesting book, and I rated it like for 5 stars because it's really interesting. And we have 2 timelines here. So it's 70s of the last century and our days, present days. And this story of Madame Burova, her love story, it's really interesting to watch for the love story of Madame Burova, to watch for her life. And it's also interesting how this girl Billy has found her own past secrets, secrets about her family, and it's really interesting. This book is well written, fast paced, and the end of this book is unexpected because from the middle of the book I thought that such person has done some things, but it turned out to be that I was wrong. And like I said, it's enjoying, and I recommend to read this book. The next one is Voices from Chernobyl by Svetlana Alexievich. She is Belarusian also. She is a journalist, and she has been writing this book for 20 years. So this book is a collection of stories of different people who lived in the territory which is not so far from Chernobyl. And there are women, men, senior people who lives in the villages, and sometimes they are only one who lives in the whole village because they refuse to leave their house. And it was really difficult book. It was really tough to read because you even can't imagine what such people went through. And I don't know, my heart responded to this book because it's so familiar with the current situation in my country, when you have to leave your home, and it's really difficult. I know that this book has haters who can tell that it's not true. The documents in which author referred to, they don't exist, and so on. But I think that Sometimes we should read such books, even if some of these stories are not true. But I believe in the whole thread that goes through these books. It's about people suffering. It's about government which doesn't want people to know the truth, and it's about our mentality. And I think that sometimes it's really important to read such tough books. The next book is a non-fiction book which called The Short Story of Women Artists. In this book, we can find out about different women artists, about different styles. And I think that this book has the right name, like the short story. So it's like this summary of each author's, and I think it's like a guide, and you can find more information about the person who are you interested in. So I can recommend to read this book because usually when we learn about art and artists, women's name aren't present in such books and so on. And I think this is great that we can learn about exactly women, because despite of the fact that they were forbidden to study or to do some man's job, they still was painting. And it's really great that now we can know such great names. The next book is The Fallen by T.J. Newman. This is her debut novel, and it's quite good. The plot is about a man who is a pilot, and when he entered the boat and got off the ground, he's got a message that his family is in danger, and all he needs to do is to crash the plane with all passengers on board. And during the book, we will know about his actions, if he did it or not. So, like I said, it's rather interesting, but the plot is familiar to the serial Hijack. It has almost the same situation, so that's why I was really interested in this book. And I think that for the debut novel, it's quite good. But my rate is 4 stars or 5, because it was nothing new, like I can say. The next book is The Cipher by Isabella Maldonado. This is a book about a girl, Nina Guerrero, who escaped from the serial killer's hideout. She was 16 then, and now she is an FBI agent, and she needs to come in contact with her past because such kidnappings and murders started to repeat. And she needs to catch the serial killer before he trapped her. So, this book is rather interesting. I can't say that this is unusual or the plot is such a new thing. No, I have read so many thrillers and detective stories that I can say this is not the best. But I like the fact that the author of this book was actually a real FBI agent, and she was working for the FBI, and that's why it's interesting, because I suppose that he can describe a real work inside of this structure. That's why this book is interesting, and I want to read the second part. So it's a trilogy. So I want to read the second part, because sometimes we need such stories to relax. The next one is Anthony Horowitz, Magpie Murders. Crime writer Alan Conway has been a best-selling author for years. Readers love his detective Atticus Punt, a celebrated solver of crimes in the sleepy English villages of the 50s. But Conway's latest tale of murder at Pie Hole is not quite what it seems. Yes, there are dead bodies and hosts of intriguing suspects, but hidden in the pages of the manuscript lies another story. A tale written between the very words on the page, telling of real life jealousy, greed, ruthless ambition, and murder. So this book consisted of two parts. It's like book in the book. The first one is about an editor of this author, Alan Conway, and she found out that he is dead, and she wants to investigate his death, because she considers that there are some strange details in his death. So the first part of this book, even not the first, but one part of this book is about the investigation of his editor, and the other part of this book is the story about Atticus Punt. And this part I like the most, because this is interesting how author can switch between such different stories. The first one, like present days, usual detective story, and the second one is the story which needs to be familiar to Agatha Christie's stories, like about an old England and England's village, and so on. And I think that the author did it great. So I recommend to read this one. The next book is also by Anthony Horowitz. It's Moonflower Murders. This is the second part of the previous one. So, retired publisher Susan Ryland, who was the editor of Alan Conway, is running a small hotel on Greek island with her long-term boyfriend. It should be everything she's always wanted, but is it? When an English couple come to visit this story, they tell about a murder that took place on the same day and in the same hotel in which their daughter Cecily was married. Is such a strange one that Susan is fascinated by it. And when they tell her that Cecily has gone missing a few short hours after reading a crime novel Susan edited some years previously, Susan knows she must return to London to find out what happened to her. The clues to the murder and to Cecily's disappearance must lie within the pages of this novel. But what Susan cannot know is that very soon her own life will be in a mortal danger. The structure of this book the same as the previous part. So we have book in the book. There is another novel by Alan Conway about Atticus Punt, and I need to tell that I really tried to find some clues in this novel, but spoiler, I didn't. But still, it was interesting to read the story, to try to make all the pieces of this riddle together. and just to watch how our main character deal with it. So I also recommend to read this second part. The next book is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This book, like The Women in Art and Magpie Murders, these books were in my video about 24 hours of reading. So you can watch it to know more about such books. And I can say, in short, about the normal people, this one which I didn't get, I didn't understand this book, and I didn't like it. The plot of this book is about two teenagers, a girl and a boy. They fell in love and they was dating, and then they broke up, and then they meet each other again, and so on. So we can watch for their relationships, but I don't know, it was rather the script to some movie than the whole book. That's why I don't know, I didn't like it. And the last one is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This is a classic novel about a young lady who wants to find her true love, and who has read many novels, gothic novels, and all this book is a parody to the gothic and sentimental novels of Jane Austen's time writers. Um, I can't say that I really liked this book. It was interesting experience because I haven't read Jane Austen at all, and but as for me, it was a little bit dull and boring, and I don't know. But the main topic, like this is a parody, I understood it from the beginning of this book. But also this book raised important topics about marriage to the person who should be on the same level as you are, like who should have the same amount of money, who should be rich if you are rich, and so on. So it was interesting, like for an experience, and I still want to know Jane Austen's novel further. And I think that maybe in the nearest future I will read another one. And I want to show you my work, my handicraft work. This work is in punch needle technique, and I enjoyed it. I liked it, and I want more. So yeah, this is the fox, and this side is smooth, and this side is fluffy, and it's like a carpet. So I really liked it. I think this fox is so cute, and I will buy another one, maybe another animal, to do it again. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and follow me on Instagram, like this video, subscribe on my channel, and goodbye.